All right, here are the corrections to the quiz that we took on Tuesday of this week. And if you're doing your quiz corrections, I just want to go through each problem and talk about maybe some of the mistakes that people made and what we can do so when we take our test next week on Friday that we get a better grade. So make sure you write down in your quiz correction sheets not only redoing the problem and getting the correct answer, but you also want to make sure that you explain the mistake that you made so that hopefully that helps so you don't make that mistake again. But we're going to go ahead and start with number one. Number one was one where you had to follow the order of operations, and we had 20 minus 5 and then in parentheses 12 minus 3 squared. It looked like that. So we're going to go one step at a time. Sometimes people try to do too much in one step. But if we follow the order of operations, remember we're doing the parentheses first. And so parentheses, I'm going to do what's in parentheses first. Specifically, I can go 12 minus 3 or I can go 3 squared. But if I follow the order of operations, I want to do the exponents before I subtract. So 3 squared is 9. It takes a little bit of time to write down each step, but it's well worth it because you'll be able to keep track of everything. When I'm grading your quizzes, there's a much better chance that you'll get some partial credit if you show each step. It might seem time-consuming or monotonous to you to do that, but that's something that I would like for you to do, especially when you take a quiz or a test. Next step, I'm still not done with the parentheses. 12 minus 9 is 3. So 20 minus 5 times 3. And then I'm done with my parentheses. I don't have any exponents, so then I'm going to multiply and divide. 20 minus 5 times 3 is 15, and 20 minus 15 is 5. So the correct answer for number one is 5. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2 starts off with variables in it, 2x squared minus 5x. And we're supposed to let x equal negative 4. Well, that means we're going to replace each x with negative 4. So instead of 2 times x squared, we're going to have 2 times negative 4 squared minus 5 times negative 4. So in the order of operations, I do the parentheses, but the parentheses are already done. I'm going to do then the exponents. So negative 4 squared means negative 4 times negative 4, which is positive 16, minus 5 times negative 4. So I did my exponents. After the exponents comes multiplication and division. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 16 is 32. And then a negative 5 times negative 4. This is where a lot of people messed up on the quiz. A negative times a negative, that should be positive 20. Take a look at your paper and see if you had negative 20. That's what a lot of people messed up on in this problem. And then 32 plus 20 is 52. So the correct answer for number 2 is 52. Let's take a look at number 3. 5 less than twice a number. Well, twice a number is 2n. We want 5 less than that. It needs to be in that order. 5 less than twice a number, we need to start with twice a number, and then to take 5 less than that means we're taking 5 away from whatever we started with. Number 4. 4 times the sum of a number and 8. That means we have to take a number and 8 and add them together first, get that sum, and then multiply it times 4. So we need to have those parentheses there for number 4. All right, let's move on and take a look at number 5. Number 5. And we're going to do number 5 here. We had struggled with number 5 a little bit, and I didn't think that we would, but we did. So let's see if we can figure out what happened here. Oops. N over 4 plus 7 is equal to 11. All right. This is a two-step equation. In other words, if I knew what n was, and I covered up the equals 11, I would take, let's say n is 100. I would take 100 divided by 4 and then add 7. Well, I want to undo that in reverse order. So how do you undo adding 7? Subtract 7. So the 7 is now gone. We have n divided by 4 is equal to 11 minus 7 is 4. And then I want to undo dividing by 4. So I'm going to multiply by 4. N will equal 16. All right. That was number 5. Let's take a look at number 6 then. Number 6, we had a little bit better time with number 6. 3k plus 15 is equal to 6. Two-step equation here. I want to get rid of adding 15 first, so I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. Makes it a little bit more difficult when we get a negative number like this. 6 minus 15 is negative 9. Then we're going to divide by 3 because we're multiplying by 3. And we'll have k equals negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. Let's take a look at number 7. Number 7, we have 3x minus 4, and then in parentheses 2x plus 5 equals 15. A little bit more involved here than in 5 and 6. But we want to simplify this side. So by simplifying this side, we're going to start by getting rid of the parentheses using the distributive property. 3x will stay the same, but negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x, and negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. A lot of people put positive 20 there because this was positive 5, but we have to remember if there's a sign out in front of this number here, that makes this a negative 4. It's like plus a negative 4 there, equals 15. Now, I also had a lot of people that added 8x here and added 8x here. We don't have to add 8x because these are on the same side of the equation. If they're on the same side of the equation, we just are going to combine like terms. 3x minus 8x is negative 5x. Take a look at your paper and see if that's what you had there. Minus 20 equals 15. Now it's a two-step equation. I can add 20 to both sides. So negative 5x will equal 35. If I divide by negative 5, then x is equal to negative 7. All right. I think I have enough room here to also do number 8 here. Let's take a look at number 8 real quick. 3 times 2x minus 6 is equal to 4 times x plus 3. Well, if I distribute to get rid of the parentheses, I'm going to distribute the 3. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. That is equal to 4 times x and 4 times 3, which is 12. So we just did the distributive property. We got rid of the parentheses. But here we have x's on both sides of the equation. So I either want to subtract 6x and move the 6x's over here, or subtract 4x to move those x's to the other side so that I have x's only on one side of the equation. I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. That way I get a positive 2x minus 18 equals 12. Then we can add 18 to both sides. So 2x is equal to 30. And if I divide both sides by 2, x is equal to 15. And that's number 8. Let's go ahead and turn to the back side then and see if we can do some of the back side as well here. On the back side, numbers 9 and 10, a lot of people made a lot more difficult than what they should have been. It says to simplify each expression. To simplify each expression, there is no equal sign here. So those of us who had like equals, the answer is equal to a number, it can't equal anything because there's no equal sign here. We're just simplifying this expression, making it look simpler. And we do that by distributing the negative 5. Negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 3, again, this is a negative 5 here, so that's positive 15 plus 12. And now I'm just going to combine like terms. 8x minus 10x is negative 2x. 15 and a positive 15 and a positive 12 is positive 27. That's as simple as it gets. That's the answer for number 9. Take a look at number 10. 3, and then in parentheses, 2n plus 9 minus, in parentheses, 3n plus 7. Just like in number 9, we want to get rid of the parentheses first. So I'm going to distribute the 3. 3 times 2n is 6n, and 3 times 9 is 27. Then we talked about if there's like minus a set of parentheses, we can stick a 1 here and distribute the negative 1. Negative 1 times 3n is negative 3n. And negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. So then what is 6n minus 3n? 6n minus 3n then is 3n. And 27 minus 7, those are my next two like terms that I can put together. 27 minus 7 is 20. Remember, if you're making your corrections, show all of this work. I want to make sure that you're going and writing down each step as we go through this. Okay? And then go back and write down what it was that you did incorrectly so that we don't make that same mistake when we take our test, which for right now is scheduled for next week on Friday. Number 11, we have a rectangle that looks something like this, and it's 4, and this is 2x plus 5. But they said the area of this rectangle, the area is 68. Well, how do you find the area of a rectangle? You multiply the length times the width. So 4 times 2x plus 5 is the area, which is 68. This is the equation that you should have set up for this. We can get rid of the parentheses by distributing the 4. This is going to be 8x plus 20 equals 68. And if we subtract 20 from both sides, then 8x will equal 48. And if I divide by 8, then x is 6. Let's do one last problem here. Last problem on the quiz was number 12. And number 12 says 6 less than twice Bill's age. Well, if this is twice Bill's age, I want 6 less than that. So minus 6 is 30. That's the equation we should have set up for number 12. Then we're just going to solve this equation. I'll add 6 to both sides. By the way, some of us messed up because we switched these two around. If I want 6 less than something, I have to subtract 6 from what I'm starting with. So I subtract 6 from both sides, or I subtracting 6, but then to undo subtracting 6, I add 6 to both sides. So twice Bill's age then must be 36. To undo multiplying by 2, then we would divide by 2, and Bill's age then would be 18. Wanted to go through this kind of quickly. And I know it's kind of quickly, but you can go and pause it and rewind it to where you need it, I guess. And make sure that when you're making your corrections on the quiz that you also put down what it was that you messed up on. And hopefully we'll clear up our mistakes so that by the time we take our test in here next week on Friday, all of these things will be mistakes that we used to make and that we don't continue to make on our test. So